Okay, the Purdue OWL has some great resources on what is an annotated bibliography and how to go about citing it. I have the link here to some samples where they show the indented, the hanging indent, and then the annotation below. Usually the annotation evaluates the source somehow. What was the author's credibility? How is this source useful to answering your research question? What are the limitations of the source? And those are some of the things that you should write. And then they have a breakdown here that goes into a little bit more detail of how to write the evaluation, the annotation, and then they give you some actual samples that you can look at. So that is one thing that might be really helpful when you're creating your own annotated bibliography. We're going to submit at least four of your strongest sources. You're going to put it in the correct works cited citation, and then you are going to write a little bit about why is this source valuable. Like, you're going to evaluate the source, you're going to talk about how you might use it, and then I am going to give you feedback, because it's so important at this point in the process. Remember, we're focusing on process, for you to give feedback from me and your supervisor. Are you doing the right kind of research? Are you looking at sources that are academic and scholarly in nature? And so then I'm going to actually look at your sources and give you some feedback. That's why I need for your annotated bibliography to be in the correct format, so I can look up your sources and look at them and give you feedback whether you are on the right track or not. Okay, in this example of the annotated bibliography, originally the student had done the citation incorrectly, and I had written a comment in here, and then they went back and corrected it. So this is some of the kind of feedback that you could expect from me. I generally will click on the link and look at the article. I'll read what you write in your evaluation. I will give you input back and forth. Oftentimes, students, I will put a source in and I'll look over the source and I'll give them additional source ideas where to go from it. Here's a couple hints for your annotated bibliography. You don't need to number them. So go ahead and select your text and remove any numbering that you have from there. Instead, to do a hanging indent, here is a trick. You come up to your indentation. You move both pieces in 1/2 inch and then take the top and go back to 0. And that's one way to get the hanging indent. And then your article, your thing should be in alphabetical order by the author's last name. Another way to do the same type of thing is, first of all, we need to remove the numbering here. So you also can go to Format, Align and Indent, go to Indentation Options, and choose the special indent called hanging and do it by 0.5, and it will do the exact same thing. So what we're looking for here is that the author is, or the title in this case, because there is no author, is all the way aligned to the left and everything else is indented 1/2 inch. That's how you do a hanging indent in Google Docs.